So let's move on. I'm going to introduce Andrew in a minute to Bidfood. Appreciate his comments this morning. Bidfood have been dealing with us right from the very outset of our organisation. We've been growing significantly year on year, 30 to 35% growth with them year on year, which has been absolutely fantastic. We've now got 60 plus members dealing with them, and a lot of summer business as well. So we deal a lot with the likes of Sole Survivor, for example, CPAS, some of those that you'll be familiar with. And I know some in the room are dealing with as well. But we also deal with the likes of Salem College and Centre Ministries, because it's not just the food side of the business, but it's the catering part of the business as well. So we did a £34,000 kitchen refit, for example, with the Quintet up in Shrewsbury. So Andrew, if I hand over to you, for about 15 minutes, keep a look at the time, and I'll leave you just to press the buttons and start going.
Thank you. Morning. I think there's two aspects to the presentation based on Steve's introduction. One is around the sustainable and ethical purchasing, and I think how we can help you in terms of buying products that are sustainable, that are recyclable, and the efforts that we go to do that. I think the other bit is around, very importantly, you said about how can we save you money. And it's probably just worthwhile explaining how we work with the Christian supply chain. We have these wonderful internal classifications like lots of companies do, and we classify Christian supply chain as a free trade multiple, which means very little to anybody else. But basically what it means is you are all independent businesses, you're all independent organisations, you are free to trade with whoever you want with. So the fact that you have an arrangement with Christian supply chain does not mean that you are obligated to buy through their terms. So we recognise that. So we have a deal with Christian supply chain that Steve has done, which is your sort of basic deal, which is around certain special prices, rebates, etc. But then we would treat each of you as an individual, as a customer. A rep would come and look at what are your needs, what are your customers' needs, what sort of products are you looking for, what sort of payment terms are you looking for, what sort of things can we do for you. So everybody is an individual customer, sort of working with the deal that we have with Christian supply chain as the basis. So it's really important that whatever you are looking for, that you would come and speak to us around your particular needs, whether that be products or arrangements, or as Steve says, whether it's a year-round thing or a one-off event or whatever. That's where we're here to help. So I think people buy from companies and people that they trust and that they have an affinity with. So I think part of my presentation is really just to explain a bit about Bidfood. We are a big organisation, but I want to get across to the fact really that we're a personable and a good organisation to deal with. I think the big bit, we're part of a global organisation. We're in about 35 countries around the world. We're a publicly quoted company on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, so we have all of those sort of obligations that exist with a public company around governance and ethics and everything else. And if you happen to be in any of those other countries, then we could do some business with you. Basically, every country runs itself independently. Our global CEO, my boss, is based in Australia, which is great. Hardly ever have to talk to him, especially this time of year. Nice time difference. But yeah, we're very decentralised. Very much let each country do their own thing. But so within the UK, we're the leading sort of supplier into the food service wholesale market, which covers everything from your restaurants, hotels, catering, but also a lot of schools, education, healthcare, aged care. We're the only supplier of food and stuff to the prisons, etc. So we cover a wide range of customer bases. We're a big supporter of brands, but we also have a wide range of own brand products. And as Steve was saying, as well as food, we do drinks, we do disposables, we do cleaning chemicals, we do basically everything that anybody would need who's operating some sort of catering business. We're confident we are close to wherever you are. Our stated ambition is to be within 80 miles of our customers. Obviously, food service and catering is very much around high levels of service, high levels of response, good levels of error recovery if you do happen to make a mistake. So we're not into building big, huge distribution centres trying to get those efficiencies. We're into building more and more smaller centres to get closer to the customer. And we've currently opened a new one in Worthing this year, and we're opening a new one in Liverpool later on in the year. So we're just building more and more sites to get closer to customers. We've got about 900 vehicles delivering around the country every week. So yeah, our focus is really on service. I think service excellence is at the heart of our proposition. This is what we try to. We believe we offer great food. Obviously the brands we offer are standard across the marketplace, but we believe our own brand products are exceptionally good as well. Real value in terms of what you want. The best team, we are continually, I think, recognised as having really good people, which is the basis of any good business is the people, and hopefully as those of you that work with us and deal with our telesales or our sales reps or our drivers would back that up. And also about forward thinking, which is about what impact we have on the environment, how can we minimise our impact on the environment, how can we make our business more ethical and more sustainable. As you can imagine, I think we've got something like 1.4 million square feet of freezer capacity in the UK, which uses a lot of electricity. 900 trucks is a lot of diesel, but nearly all of our trucks are Euro 6, so they're probably cleaner than the cars that most of us drive in terms of impact on the environment, etc. So we are constantly sort of investing in that area. And I think, as I was saying, people are called to serve in different ways, and I feel I'm called to serve in the commercial world. My real focus is saying, how can I bring sort of God and Christ-centered values into the workplace? And what I've tried to do is really, I'm really pleased that our values are what I would call Christian values as a business. So care, which is taking pride in what you do, no matter what you do, caring for your colleagues, caring for your customers. Share, which is like working together. It's a team sport, it's not an individual sport. And dare. Sometimes people go, well, dare, that's not really a Christian value, is it? But I was very pleased to hear your strap line, as it says, I think in Ephesians, is God's able to do more, immeasurably more than we can ask or imagine. So I'm always actually saying to the business, to the team, we should be dreaming big. We're here to do the best that we can in the time that we've got, and that's all about dreaming big and having those ideas. And the focus is on service excellence. I mean, that's servant leadership and that heart of serving the customer. And our sort of ethos in the business is, if you're not serving the customer, you should be serving somebody who is serving the customer. So it's always about, yes, you might be somebody based in an office, doing paperwork or doing bill collection or whatever, but you are serving somebody who is serving the customer, if you're not actually directly interacting with the customer. So that's us, and that's why, just trying to tell you a bit more about the business so you have some confidence in who you're dealing with. In terms of sustainability and CSR, we've sort of been active in this area for probably over a decade, because we do recognise that with refrigerated vehicles and refrigeration equipment, we do have a big impact on the environment. So we have been looking at how we can minimise that over the years. And we've just relaunched a new sort of strategy called Food for the Future, which is basically our focus on sustainability. 4 main areas: empowering our people, because there's absolutely no point in trying to have a top-down thing of sustainability. You want people to embrace it and do it themselves. Offering healthier and sustainable choices, which I think is important around the sort of ethical sourcing area. Managing our impact on the environment and engaging with our communities, making sure that we are, each of our depots is viewed as a local business, as engaged in supporting local charities and local communities. And we believe if we do all that, then we will help to sort of lead that change in the food service. So in terms of what we're doing, our latest sort of sustainable development report, we have managed to reduce our carbon emissions by a further 10%, increased our use of recycled water. Obviously we use a lot of water for keeping our trucks clean, so virtually all of our depots have a truck wash which uses the water recycled from rainwater and wastewater. We've got 99.8% diversion from landfill, which we're very pleased with, because we do produce quite a lot of waste and waste packaging, and an average recycling rate of 83.3%. As I say, we support a load of different charities, and we encourage our depots to get involved in community projects as well. All of the areas like modern slavery and things like that along the supply chain. We look to eradicate and make sure that we're not using excessive or not using non-sustainable palm oil and all the other things that you would expect within our supply chain. And over the last 2 years, we've, I think, been recognised for those steps by winning a number of sustainability and CSR awards. So basically all of our focus is based around the UN Development Goals, which I'm sure many of you are aware of. The key ones for us is number 12, which is about responsible sourcing and production, responsible consumption, and also 17, which is about partnerships and making sure that we're working together to make those happen. Food waste is also another thing which is obviously very high on the agenda. We've signed up to the Courtauld Agreement, which is a sort of voluntary agreement that companies can sign up to basically reduce food and drink waste by 20% by 2025. Clearly, a lot of our issue is working with our customers, because obviously we don't necessarily waste a lot of food. We're the supplier of the food. Our customers are processing the food, and that's sometimes where you get a lot of the wastage. So it's how can we work with our customers, which then means we're working back with our suppliers, because it's about, are the packaging sizes too big? Are we delivering too much food in one go for our customers to use within the appropriate shelf life of the product? So it's looking up and down the chain to say how can we supply food to customers in a way that's going to reduce that waste. Where we do have food waste, because we've messed it up, we've ordered too much or the shelf life's too short, then we do work with Fair Share, City Harvest and other organisations to donate that surplus food. So as you can see, last year we 41,000 meals through Fair Share. In terms of plastic, which is another key area, I think we want to give some reassurance that we're really trying to drive down plastic in our own brand range, especially around bottled water and food-to-go packaging, which are two of the key areas where plastic is very high profile, and reducing plastic use within our own business around encouraging people to use reusable cups, etc. within the business, just those little things that help to make sure that we are sort of walking the walk as well as talking the talk. In terms of the depots, as I say, 50% of our sites have been upgraded or built over the last few years. Key things for us is things, very simple stuff like using more, lining the obvious really. So in the warehouse, using more translucent sheeting instead of sticking loads of lighting in there. In some of the offices, using the sort of the light tubes which capture the sunlight and bring it through and diffuse it into the offices, which is actually far nicer working environment than lighting. Heat mats, I should say, not heat maps. Obviously, when you're doing a lot of refrigeration, you're also creating a lot of heat. So we're taking that heat and using it to recycle that into electricity to power the computers. Making our vehicles more efficient, good for us, obviously, but good for the environment. Giving back, where we've got solar panels fitted on some of our depots, putting power back into the grid, and as I was talking as well about increasing our recycled and rainwater usage. So in terms of your organisation, you're looking for different types of things. Is it sustainable? Is it organic? This is just a flavour, I think, of the different types of products that we've got. So we have 13,000 products within the business, hopefully something for everybody. We've got a number of them are British, a number of them are Red Tractor, a number of them are Fair Trade. We've got marine certification, we've got organic, we've got vegetarian, we've got vegan, we've got gluten-free, halal, probably not so much demand here. Don't contain nuts, don't contain milk, don't contain egg. There's a whole host of things, and obviously the obligations on us as a supplier around allergens and everything else that you have a responsibility to for your patrons is really important to us, and keep constantly making sure that those are updated. The RSPO, sustainable palm oil. That's what I say. Of those 30,000 products, that's why we treat each customer as an individual. Your sales rep, your telesales will be able to talk to you about the products that you want to buy. What are your criteria? Is it around, do you want a vegan option? Do you want a vegetarian option? Do you want a gluten-free option? Does it have to be MSC fish? Does it have to be sustainable palm oil? yeah, whatever your requirements are, we believe we've got the product to meet those needs, and obviously we've got a good deal with the supply chain team. And finally, community engagement, I think I talked about, was really just about our depots getting involved in the communities, keeping an eye on the time. I think the other thing which should be interesting for yourselves is Plate to Planet. Plate to Planet is an online industry initiative which basically we power, we sponsor and set up the website. But it's basically a website for the hospitality and catering industry to look at recycling and green initiatives. You know, there are many sort of supplier partners and customer partners who input their case studies and best practice on there. So if you do visit that, platetoplanet.co.uk, you would find a lot of ideas around things that you could do to be more sustainable, examples that people have used, suppliers that people have used, and different ways that people have reduced consumption, worked on their sort of environmental stewardship, reduced their waste to landfill, and other such things, which I think would be important for all of us. As Steve says, to learn more, come and visit us on our stand. These are our sort of product ranges, so we have all the branded suppliers. We have Everyday Favourites, which is our own brand of Everyday Favourites. For the more, it's like the Tesco Value, Tesco Premium. Yeah, we have a Premium Selection, which is the more upmarket end. Farmstead is our meat brand. Unity is our wines and spirits brand. Springboard is our water. Coronet is our portion, packaging, sugar sachets, ketchup, etc. Black and White is our coffee brand, not as nice as Kingdom Coffee. Bidfood Catering Supplies is our catering supplies, and Essential Supplies is the non-food range. And within our non-food range, we've recently launched a green range of cleaning chemicals as well, which will be on display, which is going down really well. And then we're in the Foxton suite, I think, along with these suppliers, Central Foods, canapes, muffins, etc. Yard Farm, fantastic ice cream from Devon, Sweet Street, brilliant cakes. Winterhalter is the supplier of cleaning systems, so that's all of your dishwashing systems and chemicals and everything else that go with that. So please do come and visit us in the Foxton suite.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.